Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 18. As you can see, I've added a microphone, so the audio should sound different. I'm learning. I mentioned in the other videos I'm going to add one thing. So right now I'm adding this microphone just to see how it works. This is kind of a newer concept, so hopefully it sounds good. And it's obviously in my face, so I don't know if that's cool or not cool, but we're going to go with it for right now. And I wanted to touch on two things actually that came to my mind. First is this word SISU. And if some of you guys go back and look at some of my comments, and I'm going to talk about this gentleman here in just a minute, but there's a gentleman in there named Dan Jerome who actually posted up SISU in a lot of comments. And SISU came up a little bit. It's a Finnish word, and it's kind of like the word honor in the sense that when you read if you're not Finnish, if you kind of read the definition, they'll say, Finns will say they kind of know what it means without being able to define it clearly. And, you look on Wikipedia and there's things like grit, bravery, determination, or facing something like overwhelming odds and showing courage. So there's like kind of this general understanding of what it is, but it's kind of like the word honors. I can tell somebody we need to demonstrate honor. And that word has a definition, but it's like we know if we're being honorable or not. It's very hard to define because it's kind of a concept. So a few years back, I met Dan, and we're the most unlikely of people that have probably ended up finding a friendship. And I actually met him in jiu-jitsu class. And at first, when I met him, I didn't know if I really liked him, to be honest. And the more that we hung out, he was someone that I would have not normally been friends with because we had two very different personalities. But what ended up happening was I had a gym for a little bit, and he trained with me. And he's amazing in the fact that he's so far been like my greatest fan. For years, he's sent me emails jumping in and going, "SISU, MFer, are you getting out there? Are you doing this thing?" And even when folks around me went quiet, he'd be sending me random texts and going, "Hey, how are you doing on this book? You need to be out there. You need to be this life coach. You're really good at this." The words of encouragement, even as distance even separated us. And so he's just been kind of along there, and he's been throwing that SISU out this whole time. And so then I showed him this project and had mentioned to him through a text and stuff that my wife had challenged me on this. And if you go back to day one, he left a really awesome, encouraging note. And it's kind of a fulfillment of things that he's put in my mind over these years. And then finally getting my wife to prompt me to pull the trigger and to kind of fulfill this for both of them. So as we go forward, I'm going to keep that SISU part in mind because I think it's a really awesome concept to go by, right? And at the same time, I also want to go back and just say a special thank you to Dan because of his encouragement over the years. I mean, it'll go quiet, and all of a sudden I'll get a random text or an email, and he's like, "How's it going? Are you pushing forward? Are you doing this thing?" So it's really awesome for him to do that, and I wanted to put him in this and kind of give him those props as well. So that's day 18. And I appreciate it. Hopefully the sound sounds good. This is one thing we're adding in, as I said. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on day 19.